Detained Australian journalist Cheng Lei has revealed the conditions of her incarceration in China. The 48-year-old says she's allowed only 10 hours of sunlight a year. She misses many parts of Australian life that was otherwise taken for granted, like time with family and Sunday markets. Writing, every year the bedding is taken into the sun for 2 hours to air. When it came back last time, I wrapped myself in the doona and pretended I was being hugged by my family under the sun. She says she misses her children most of all and longs to be reunited with a 12-year-old son and 14-year-old daughter when she eventually returns to Melbourne. That's the hope. Cheng Lei was detained, in Beijing in 2020 while working for the state-run CGTN news channel, accused of sharing state secrets with foreign organisations. And joining us live now is Cheng Lei's partner, Nick Coyle. Nick, it's good to have you with us this morning. Thank you so much for your time. I want to start off with this letter because I thought it was a great way to start it, you know, showing her sense of humour is perhaps still there. G'day Aussies, excuse the daggy slang from someone in need of ocarism. So, I mean, that brings a smile to your face, showing that she's still got that sense of humour there.
Undoubtedly, Peter, she's got a wicked sense of humour, and I can tell you that that certainly hasn't faded anywhere over the past 3 years, even though it's been enormously difficult for her.
Yeah, and, you know, and obviously her family's here, but it also shows, you know, I'm reading another bit here, I miss the black humour of Melbourne weather, the tropical theatrics of Queensland and the never-ending blue skies of Western Australia. It just goes to show her connection to the country.
Oh, look, exactly right. I mean, you know, she came out to Australia when she was 10. You know, went to school not far from where I am at the moment in Indooroopilly. You went to University of Queensland. Loved her Australian education, was warmly embraced and accepted by the Australian public as a child. You know, there's no doubt whatsoever what she, you know, how she feels about Australia and her connection to the country, even though she spent a long time overseas, as have I and as have many others. But at home is home, isn't it? 3
years coming up now this weekend. Nick, where is she at and getting out?
Hopefully a lot closer. You know, time will tell. I'd love to have a crystal ball on this one. But look, I think there's goodwill, certainly from both sides when it comes to how to resolve this issue, I think. And look, as I've, you know, been very consistent in saying that resolving this case compassionately and expeditiously, I think, is in everyone's interests. And you know, people not just in Australia but all over the world are watching this, and you know, let's hope it's resolved soon. And in the context of relations between the two countries improving, I think that's important. It helps improve the atmospherics, and hopefully enables everyone to focus on positive things. You know, between Australia and China. And as somebody who worked at the coalface of that for many years, it's very important.
How is she getting messages out? I mean, how often are you able to get contact with her, Nick?
She has a consular visit for 30 minutes once a month. So, you know, I can send messages that are read out to her, and then she can send messages back. And that's how, indeed, she sort of dictated that message. And then she's able to write once a month to immediate family. So it's a cumbersome process because it's kind of, you know, you have to wait a month to hear the answer to things, and she has to do the same thing. So it's difficult, but, you know, that's the extent of the contact at the moment.
And you know, she talks about sunlight. You know, she doesn't get a whole lot of it. So what of conditions? I mean, you know, is she kept in solitary confinement in detention? Is it darkness most of the day that she deals with? Can you tell us about the conditions that she's in?
There's not a huge amount disclosed, as it were, about Ministry of State Security detention facilities. She has cellmates. Her first 6 months was spent in what China refers to as RSDL, residential surveillance in a designated location, which is basically solitary. That was enormously difficult. You know, so she's in a facility in Beijing. She does have some other cellmates, but it's still highly restrictive, as one can probably imagine. So yeah, it's not a normal sort of prison situation that people might think of. It's quite restrictive.
Okay, Nick Coyle, we're out of time, but it was brief today, but I appreciate you joining the show. Thanks for talking about it, and we wish you the best of luck, and we wish Cheng Lei the best of luck too. We're hoping for a good result soon.